it is that time where all the Formula One teams have revealed their liveries for the 2026 season. And as a yearly thing on this channel, I'm going to rank them. Now, a couple of disclaimers. Number one, this is all my opinion, so don't get offended if your favorite livery isn't number one. But then again, this is a Formula One community, and nowadays they get offended by everything nowadays. So I'm going to offend someone anyway. And also, if you've kept up with some of my community posts, my opinions on some liveries have changed, which I will discuss when we get to them. Only a couple, but some of them have changed nonetheless. And finally, I have the aesthetic appreciation of a child, even though I am nearing the age of 27. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on. We'll start off with number 11 on my list, and that is the Alpine. I've not really been a big. I wasn't a big fan of last year's Alpine and the year before that because what I mean with 2024 one was basically carbon fiber with a little bit of blue and pink depending on the race weekend. And yeah, I mean it's an Alpine with BWT, so it's blue and pink. Um, I don't hate this livery. I just don't like it. Um, so yeah, we'll move on to number 10, which I think is the biggest disappointment of all these liveries, and that's the Audi, because this is pretty much the concept car that they released like back in November to show off their color palette. It is essentially that car with some sponsors on it, and that looked like ass. I mean, obviously with the sponsors, it looks a little bit better. But again, with Audi, I think they could do a little bit more with it. I really do think they could. But this also just looks like when you play one of the F1 games and you get it day one and you boot up my team, you make your own team with the basic liveries that they give you to start off with. It looks like one of them as well. Excuse me. So yeah, I mean it's a good color combination. Silver, like neon bright red and black. It can work. I also don't think the Lego set of this doesn't look very good either. But that's a topic for another day. So yeah, that is the 2026 Audi coming in at number 10. Could be better. Biggest disappointment of liveries this year by far. Number 9 is the Aston Martin. Getting into liveries that I think they're solid. I can't really go. You can't. I don't think you can really go wrong with Aston Martin's livery, to be honest. It's just British racing green with lime green highlights and a little bit of black, and then obviously a blue rear wing for Aramco, which is not the biggest crime in the world. If you know, you know. We'll get to that team in a minute, I'm sure. Well, no, we definitely will. But yeah, it's just a solid livery. I don't really feel more needs to be said. It's just this is going to be, obviously, Ferrari's always red. Aston Martin's always going to be green. And we'll just get, variations of this livery every year. Or they will barely change it, which isn't a bad thing at all. Number 8 is McLaren. And I think this is actually a little bit of an improvement on last year's. I think the 2026 car actually helps out what they go with, where they cut the colours off diagonally. With the orange and the black. Oh, sorry, papaya. Because otherwise, if I don't call it papaya, McLaren fans are going to come and hunt me down. If they haven't done so already, after all my YouTube shorts, clowning on this team for the past few months with the last few races of 2025. So I'm definitely on McLaren fans' hit list, especially Lando Norris. But anyway, it's again. Orange and black, great color combination. The orange arrows back in the the early 2000s. I liked those cars, so I do like the color combination that McLaren have gone with. And again, very little difference from last year's, but again, it does the job. Now, speaking of, we were shocked by the color that the Ferrari was. Next up is the Ferrari. It's red. Oh my god. But I don't like this. I don't like this livery. The more I've looked at it, it looks kind of okay on track when it's standing still. I don't like it when it's moving. Um, and the problem I have with this is, right, so I like that they've done the white cockpit and like a little bit on the engine cover, going back to like the mid like 1970s when Lauda and Regazzoni were driving for them. I like that. However, for me, with a Ferrari, if you're gonna, obviously it's gonna be red, and you compare it with white or black, not both. I think the 2016 and 2017 cars when they did this thing, like with red and white, looks far better. It looks a lot better than this car. So I would much prefer it if they didn't combine white and black. Pick one. So if this car had white front and rear wings, I'd actually probably like it a lot more, but it doesn't, so I'm not that much of a big fan of it. I will say that the HP integration isn't as bad as the previous 2 years. It's still a criminal offence, but it's not much as a criminal offence as it has been. I'm just hoping they actually go full force at like Miami or someplace, because that seems to be where we want to do it, where we actually get a white and blue Ferrari. Please, just fucking do it. But that is why I don't like the Ferrari. If it was white and black, if it was red and black, looks cool. Like that 2022 Ferrari, beautiful. Again, if it was red and white, like the 2016 and 17 Ferraris, great. But because they can buy both of them, they just clash too much. I'm sorry, I just think they clash. Anyway, moving on to number, it will be 7? No, it will be 6 actually. It is the V-Carb. I like this thing. It is solid. I like that they've got a little bit of blue, obviously because they're powered by Ford now. Oh, sorry, Red Bull Ford powertrains, whatever they're called. But yeah, I think it's a little bit busier than last year's, so I don't like it as much as last year's, because I think last year's Racing Bulls or V-Carb, whatever they're called now, was my favourite livery of last year, because it was simple and it was effective. I think this one's got just that little bit too much going on, but it's still a solid car. Next up is, it's the Red Bull, coming in at number 5. Now, this render, it looks a lot better in the render than it does on track. However, when it's under floodlights, so like at Bahrain, Singapore and Vegas, like all the night races, I think this is going to look really, really nice. But when it was in the shakedown at Barcelona, it didn't look as great as it does in these renders, personally, but still solid. I like it's gone back to a sort of like early 2010s Red Bull before they switched it to matte, which they've run for the past 10 years, which I'm not going to be honest, I kind of miss it. I think that livery's going to go down as a modern classic for 2016 to 2025 Red Bull liveries. I think that's going to go down as a modern classic, personally. But yeah, I just, for Red Bull, where it was highlighted out in white and it's all glossy, I think most of the teams have gone to gloss this year, and they've kind of ditched the matte paint, which isn't a bad thing. But yeah, I like this Red Bull. It's very a little bit nostalgic, which is probably why I like it a little bit. Which is probably why I like it a bit. Coming in at number 4 is the Cadillac. Now this is odd. This is a really, really odd livery, because obviously we can tell by this photo I've got of it. One half of it is white and the other side of it is black. And I actually kind of fuck with it. I'm going to be honest. Again, it's odd, but I like it. It's not as bad as the 99 BAR, because that livery was basically just a middle finger to the FIA for not allowing them to run 2 separate liveries, which I don't know how they thought they would get away with that anyhow. But this thing, again, it looks very basic because it's barely got any sponsors on it because they're a new team. But I do really like it. I just wish that with Cadillac, they've run in WEC. I think they run it in like yellow and black. I'd love a yellow and black car back on the grid. I love those Renaults when before Alpine became Renault or whatever or whatever their deal was. I mean, I know Alpine's owned by Renault, but I wish I wish it was still Renault, but obviously they're not powering anything because their engines are shit. But a topic for another day. Um, but yeah, it's just odd, and I just like it. I don't know what it's just an odd because it's asymmetrical, which we haven't. When was the last time we had an asymmetrical livery on the grid? Was it that 99 BAR? Well, it looks better than that. But yeah, I do like this Cadillac. The more I look at it, the more I do like it. But we're moving on to the top three now. And number 3 is Williams. Now, this huge Carlos Sainz bias because he is my favourite driver, and obviously he's driving for Williams now. Well, for the past year he has been, obviously. But I'm glad that they've added a bit of white on the side pod. The only way to make this better, the Barclays sponsorship, I actually will give it as pretty good integration. With the light blue. Make the blue white, and then change the Barclays logo to white. And then that would look so much better in my personal opinion. But it's still a solid livery, and I'm glad that Williams have kind of ditched the different shades of dark blue now, because I think it did make some Williams look a little bit odd. But I'm glad they stuck with this dark blue. Just a little bit more white. I know they've obviously added some. I want more, because those BMW Williams from like the early 2000s, basically throughout that decade when they used like a dark blue and white, chef's kiss. They're all beautiful looking cars in my opinion. So yeah, just a little bit more white, and Williams have got an extremely solid livery that they can use for a very, very long time. And I know half of the F1 Twitter would have an aneurysm because of that. But then have a look at when, McLaren used Marlboro white and red, and Lotus were using JPS for like nearly 20 plus years. You lot had a fucking aneurysm right now, F1 Twitter, if you did that. Moving on to number 2 is the Mercedes. Now, this is one that has really gone up, because I didn't really like this livery at first. But then, obviously, when it came out on Track and Match Shakedown, I liked it even more. And I like this Mercedes. I think it is the best integration of both silver and black that they've done since they used it in 2024 with that color scheme. So I think this is the best one they've done so far. I do like the rectangles shapes on the side pods. I think that looks really, really cool. Yeah, I just really, really like this livery. I wouldn't mind a little bit more teal, just like around, like another teal stripe just going along the floor there, where it cuts off from the side pod and goes onto the floor. I think that's the only thing that is missing, and you've got a great livery. But yeah, I like this thing. But we're moving on to my number 1. Like, by a country mile, this is my favourite livery. Like, as soon as I saw this is filthy. And it's the Haas. I'm so glad they've integrated the Gazoo Racing logo brilliantly on the engine cover there. Because that could have looked really, really bad, but it doesn't. Obviously, because now got even more support from Toyota now. And again, I love the black Haas logo on white. It just looks so clean. It looks so clean. I just love this thing. Like the T-cam on this thing's gonna look beautiful. I'm really, really hoping so. Just because you got the white of the halo, and then you've got the black stripe, and then you've got the red tip just to finish it off. That's gonna look good, hopefully. Again, Haas, aside from like Rich Energy and Uralkali, they do nail their liveries, and I'm glad they're continuing with that. This just looks so clean, and it's pure filth. Like I said in my community post, it is pure filth, this livery, and I absolutely love it. And that's probably where I'm going to end this video off now. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, feel free to like it. Dislikes if you disliked it, of course, because your favourite livery wasn't number 1. And if you like this video, check out some other content, because I don't actually do Formula 1 most times. I usually do Marvel Contest Champions content, but I like to dabble in F1 here and there, and other bits and bobs. So yeah, if you like my other content, turn my red subscribe button to grey. I shall see you all in the next one. Goodbye.